Okay, we will get started. So I'm going to introduce myself in a little bit because I don't know everybody who's on here, and I know that you don't know me per se, but I am nervous. I don't like public speaking, even though I'm a teacher. It's totally different speaking to 25 little 5-year-olds than it is speaking to 20 adults. So bear with me. I promise that I am much funnier in real life than I'm going to say I'm funny, and I'm probably not going to be funny, but just follow me on Snapchat and take my word for it. So I'm going to turn my video off and I'm going to get into my slides. So if you could just let me know when I do that, if you can see them okay. Is that good? Okay. Okay, so this is me. I am a full-time kindergarten teacher in Swanton. That's pretty northern Vermont. I have been doing that for about 3 years now. I've always worked in education. I met my coach Chelsea a long time ago. She actually used to date my brother ages ago, so that's how I initially met her. And then I started with the 21-day fix, and I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I went to Chelsea, and she helped me. Flash forward until now, and I've lost almost 30 pounds now with that. And I initially started as a discount coach, and then this past November, December, I started actively coaching. Snapchat is my jam. The B filter, if that ever goes away, I've already had multiple people ask me what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to not exist. So if you have Snapchat, I'm on that. And I'm a diamond coach now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about not so much rank tonight, but another, I think, almost more important thing. So we'll get started. Okay, so now that you know that I'm the funniest person alive, what are we actually going to do? We're going to talk about the leadership ladder, and you might not know what that is, but if you go into your online office, you normally are looking at a screen that tells you if you've hit Success Club or not, but there's a little tab on the right, and that is your leadership ladder. So when you're trying to hit or when you're trying to make business goals and move your business forward, there's going to be times, at least I know personally, where you just don't know what goal to set. And you kind of feel a little bit stuck. I know that happened to me when I hit my diamond rank. I was pushing so hard to hit diamond, and that was on my vision board, and that was what I was going for. And then when I hit diamond, I was kind of like, had no idea what to do. So that's when I was doing some research, and I decided I need to start focusing on the leadership ladder, but I didn't really understand how much I needed to focus on it until I went to Summit, and I learned that was the best thing that I could have done, was to go to that presentation. So I know a lot of us focus on rank, and rank is totally what we should be pushing for, but it's not the end-all be-all for sure. Okay, so this was pretty eye-opening for me at Summit, this slide. So start to think of it as diamond versus being a team leader. A lot of people think that once you get to diamond, you've kind of arrived, but you want to focus on being a team leader in order to start making more of a significant income. So no, you're not going to make $1 million as soon as you hit diamond, but if you start to break it down a little bit, it gets a little bit more attainable. So this image shows 2 diamond coaches. They both have the right number of coaches on each leg to be diamonds, but one person has more downline volume than the other, and as you can see, the person with more downline volume is obviously making more of an income. So for me, that kind of didn't make sense at first, because I didn't really get, if there's the same amount of coaches, how could they have different volume? But Coach A has family members, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they have a team full of family members and people who aren't working the business and nobody who's selling products. So there's not much value to their business. They're making a little income. They're still diamond. They've still worked their tail off to get there. But Coach B, on the other hand, has 4 coaches that are selling between 2 to 500 personal volume a week in their sales, and that's adding a lot more value to Beachbody. So one of the quotes that they said at Summit was, Beachbody does not pay you for your time or effort. They pay you for the value that you bring to their company. So if you think about the difference between Coach A, who has a team of probably discount coaches who aren't doing anything but utilizing the discount, they're not bringing a lot of value to the team, versus Team B, who even if they aren't bringing in coaches themselves, they're still striving to hit Success Club and they're bringing in a lot more value. So that brings us to the different leadership rungs. The first rung that you're going to focus on is business starter. A business starter earns about $100 a month. Now their Shakeology is paid for. They're hitting Success Club 5 every month. They're setting an example, and they're in the green for the business, which means they are making more than what they're paying into it. These little pictures too, I think they're from Lindsay Matway that Brittany had made. Rung 2 is the next one. That's a team builder. A team builder is earning $250 a month. They're still hitting Success Club 5, but now they have 2 personally sponsored coaches with at least 1 Success Club point each month. They have a minimum of 200 in team volume on their week leg per month, but this time they're an Emerald coach or higher. Now what we're going to focus on is rung 3, what I like to call the big kahuna. So this is where I heard once in one of my calls, somebody said, diamond for rank, 1 star for bank. And we're not focusing necessarily on the ranks, but if you focus on being a team leader, you are going to have much more significant income. I know this is not all about income, it's about helping people, but I'm pretty sure we all have a goal for that as well. So team leader earns $1,000 a month. They're hitting at least Success Club 5 every month. Now they have 4 people, 4 personally sponsored coaches with at least 1 Success Club point. And yeah, Jessica, it was a quote that said, diamond for rank, 1 star for bank. Back to the ladder, you have a minimum of 5,000 in team volume in your week leg per month. Now you're a diamond coach or higher. So this, we're not going to go any higher. We're going to focus on this. But before we do that, we're going to slow it down a little bit. So when you sign into your online office and you go over to the tab Leadership Ladder, this is what it's going to look like for you. This is available in a training on the back office, and there's also videos that you can watch. What you want to do is you want to get into the habit of screenshotting your ladder every month, and that's going to help you to set your goals. But we're going to just talk briefly about what these parts of your leadership ladder looks like. So the first thing, the business starter, those are the different rungs. So this shows your last month, and then your next rung, that's what you should be setting your goals for. And then in the columns, it's breaking everything that you did down last month. And then number 4 is the next column, and that's what you currently would have. Number 5 is the next rung benchmark. So those are your goals that you want to hit. So this person, it looks like they're striving towards being a team builder, so they have to hit $250 commission. That's the 6th thing, and they're very close to that. 7th thing, so big focuses that you want to do. You have to start tracking your commission that you're making. You have to start tracking your Success Club. Your rank does play a part in it. You have to have certain ranks for certain ladders. ladder rungs. And then, so those are the things that you can control pretty well. Every single month, those should be non-negotiables. Your commissions are coming in, you're hitting Success Club, and your rank. Number 9 is you're personally sponsored with 1 Success Club point. So for a team leader, you want to have 4 personally sponsored coaches with at least 1 Success Club point. Okay, the next 2 are the most confusing ones. So we're going to go on and kind of talk about that a little bit. So your coaches, you want to strive for them to hit Success Club 5 each month. You want to build a culture in your community, your team, that everybody's working towards helping at least 3 people a month. And you want to get into the habit of checking how your coaches are doing, and how you do that is by checking your sponsorship downline. So if you go into your online office, if you go into my downline and then you go down all the way to sponsorship downline, that'll show you your coaches and how many points they have for the month. The most confusing part of the team leader rung is the volume part. Now at Summit they said you need 5,000 volume, which seems like an insane amount, especially if you're new, especially if you're a brand new diamond. And I feel that. But how they broke it down is $250 a week comes out to be about $1,375 on your week leg, which is 15 downline coaches. Now, look at the word downline because that's not personally sponsored. That's in your whole downline. So you've got coaches, you usually have coaches that your upline is adding or that your coaches are adding. Those count. And then 2,750 on your strong leg. That comes out to be about 30 downline coaches who are on Home Direct. So even though those seem like really big things that you are working on, little goals will lead you there, and that's a goal that you should be striving towards. So now you have something tangible that you can work towards. Another quote that I really liked from this presentation, after they explained the leadership ladder like I just did for you, they said the nitty-gritty steps will get you closer to your goal, but you won't get any real success yourself because it's not really about you. The real success is about duplication. So it's about the change of your mindset from me to we. So when you start focusing on your team and you start recognizing and you start calling people out for doing good things and you start building a close relationship with your team members, that's when you're going to start to see the real success, because you can't do it all by yourself. You won't get any further than that first Coach A on the diamond side. So my last thing that I'm going to leave you with, I just gave you a ton of information, probably way too fast, and it's overwhelming, but just take a deep breath because we're all going to get there. I'm working towards it. I'm not a team leader, but that's one of my goals. So a call to action to help us. The first thing is to screenshot your own ladder so that you know where you need to go next, and that'll help you create specific goals. And then from those specific goals, pick one area to focus on and post what that is in our Direction Dynasty group. I think you guys are all in that group. I know that Lindsay is. I'm not sure if Lindsay's coaches are, but you could do that in Lindsay's group as well. And you could tag Lindsay and she could show me or something. So screenshot your own ladder and look at your ladder, where you need to go next, and pick one area to focus on. Post that in our group. By picking one area to focus on, it doesn't seem so scary and overwhelming. And I think that is all I have for you. I feel like I just talked really fast.
No, that was amazing. So there was definitely a lot of information. And I know if you're not familiar with the leadership ladder, this may feel like a ton to take in. So we've got 10 or 15 minutes. If people want to ask some questions, myself or Hannah will do our best to get them answered for you. But that was awesome, Hannah. You did a great job. So you can either unmute yourself to ask questions or go ahead and post them in the chat, and I'll check the chat box.
I have a question. My name's Morgan. I'm with Alyssa Carter. I'm under her, but I think I saw Lindsay in here somewhere. I can't see her now. Oh, hey, she messaged me. I live on the eastern shore of Virginia. If any of you guys don't know where that is, that's a little tail under Maryland. It is so rural, and I'm a new coach. I've only been a coach for like a week and a half. And I have a lot of people who are interested, but they're like, oh, a challenge pack, $140. Oh my gosh, that's so expensive. And I'm like, well, it's not really if you kind of take Shakeology and the workout and separate it and then add it together. It's more expensive that way than if you just buy the challenge pack. So it's really hard for me to find, because I'm trying to get to Emerald, two people just like come under me and get customers to buy because they're like, oh, it's so expensive. So that's my problem because I live in such a rural area. It's really hard for me to attract people.
Well, I think either me or Hannah can answer this because there's a big chunk of us that live in rural Vermont and New Hampshire here, so we feel your pain, girl. I think regardless of where you live, though, I think that price objection it's something that we all get. I still get it. It's something you're always going to get. And I think that such a big part of our job is making people realize the value that comes with a challenge pack, that it's not just some floozy workout. It's not just the same shake you can get at GNC. And, I think just really showing the value, and that takes time, and it something, it can take some practice, but, if you've been a challenger, really sharing your story and what it's done for you is a great way to show how it can do more than just give them a workout DVD that they may never use. Talking about the challenge groups and the support and the benefits of Shakeology. It definitely takes, a lot of conversations and a lot of building that relationship and building that trust, because it is a lot of money. And if they don't feel that trust with you, it's hard for someone to spend that. So, but it sounds like you're on the right track. I think that maybe a great thing to do would be maybe send some of your convos to Lindsay or Alyssa and maybe just like role play a few things and see how you could kind of keep the conversation going and add some more value. And that would probably be really helpful.
All right. Thank you so much.
I think too with that, I think it's important for myself to remind myself, like, yeah, it's a lot of money, but if you think about any other, like if you were to go to a class, they're expensive. I mean, it's all, and you can't find a shake, you can't find a healthy meal that's comparable for the $4. It's like, it's just putting it all together. But if you really remember and just remind yourself of what that money is going towards and the value in it, then I think that's helpful, because when I get those price objections, I immediately get like, oh God, yeah, that is a lot. But then how many times did I freaking spend $140 on clothes at Old Navy without even thinking about it? Or how many times do I waste money on utilities that I don't want to pay? So it's all about showing them the value in it, like Corey said.
Thanks. Definitely do that.